ir, iste, imos, isties, iran, ar, aste, amos, astias, aron.
Preterite irregular conjugations. Aser, ise, iste, iso, isiemos, isties, isieron.
Stem changes in the preterite. E to I, preferir, preferi, preferiste, preferio, preferimos, preferistes, prefieron. O to U, dormir, dormi, dormiste, dormio, dormimos, dormistes, dormieron. Notice in the third person, the O changes to just a U. Car-gar-zar changes in the preterite. Notice the change is in the first person. Buscar changes to busque with a QUE. Buscaste, busco, buscamos, buscastes, buscaron. Gar, first person stem change. Huge with a GUE. Hugaste, hugo, hugamos, hugastes, hugaron. When conjugating verbs that end in ZAR in the first person, changes Z to a C. Empise, empizaste, empizo, empizamos, empizastes, empizaron. When conjugating other irregular verbs, there is a change to a Y in the third person to avoid 3 vowels in a row. Crie, criiste, crio, criemos, cristes, crieron. Other irregular verbs ending in UIR also have a Y stem change in the third person. Ui, uiste, uyo, uimos, uistes, uyeron.
Decir, to say. Dije, dijiste, dijo, dijemos, dijesties, dijeron. Trajer, to bring. Traje, trajiste, trajo, trajimos, trajistes, trajeron. The irregular conjugation of ver, to see. Vi, viste, vio, vimos, visties, vieron. Irregular stem changes in the preterite. Irregular stem changes in the preterite apply to these 11 verbs. These 11 verbs contain stem changes that remain constant throughout the entire conjugation table. Each verb keeps its stem and does not change no matter what person or form. The preterite stands for actions completed. Here are some of the circumstances under which you must use the preterite. Something that once happened, a single event. Something that happened once but with a specific ending or number of times. A specific point in time. The preterite indicates the beginning or end of a process. Something that happened during a specific time period or something that happened during a specific age. It is used for actions in a chain of events, and it is the interrupting action of a sentence. Something that once happened. Fue ayer a la tienda. Yesterday, I went to the store. Something that once happened, but with a specific ending or number of times, a specific point in time. Leo el libro 5 veces. I read the book 5 times. It was a specific number of times I read the book. El hurricane se terminó a las 8. The hurricane ended at 8 o'clock. This indicates the beginning or end of a process. The end of the hurricane was at 8 o'clock. Something that happened during a specific time period or age. Miguel vivió aquí por 6 años. Tenía 15 años. Miguel lived there for 6 years and was 15 years old. This is specific time and specific age.
We also use preterite to talk about a chain of events that are completed actions. Compré un sombrero, me senté en un banco, y me dormí a la playa. Because you bought a sombrero, sat on a blanket, and slept at the beach, all completed actions we use the preterite for.
Interrupting actions. Mientras los demás dormían, María se escapó. While we were sleeping, Maria escaped. Maria interrupted our sleeping action. These indicator words indicate when to use the preterite. They indicate of something that happened in the past, showing you that the preterite is a completed action and should be used in the sentence.
For imperfect AR endings, the endings are aba, abas, aba, abamos, abais, aban. Notice that the first person and third person singular are the same conjugation. For ER-IR ending verbs in the imperfect form, we use the endings ia, ias, ia, iamos, iais, ian. Notice the accent above the I and the singular first person and third person conjugations match again. When using the imperfect tense, there are only 3 irregular imperfect verbs. The first one being ser, meaning to be. Era, eras, era, eramos, erais, eran. Notice the accent above the E in the second person plural form of the verb. The second irregular imperfect verb is ver, to see. Veía, veías, veía, veíamos, veíais, veían. The final irregular imperfect verb is ir, to go. Iba, ibas, iba, ibamos, ibais, iban. Notice the accent above the I in the second person plural form of the verb. We use the imperfect tense when speaking of actions in the past that occur repeatedly. Yo caminaba cada día. I walked every day. Yo cantaba frecuentemente.
Actions in the past that occurred over an extended period of time indicate the imperfect tense.
We also use the imperfect tense to set the stage for an event that occurred in the past. Nosotros estudiábamos cuando vimos Señora Barb. We were studying when we saw Sister Barb.
Pat estaba enfermo. Actions are not physical but mental and emotional. Emotionally, Pat felt sick.
Buzzwords in the imperfect tense. When you see these words in a sentence, it is usually a tip-off that you are going to use the imperfect over the preterite tense.
Also, when using the imperfect, don't forget Al wept. A for age, L for location, W for weather, E for emotional or mental state, P for personality or physical description, and T, telling of time or date. Practice. For practice, try using these 2 sentences to decide when to use the preterite and perfect tense. For the first one, estudiar 2 horas. I studied for 2 hours. So the conjugation would be yo estudié 2 horas. I studied for 2 hours in the preterite. For the second one, yo estudiar antes de los exámenes. I studied before the exams. So the conjugation in the imperfect would be yo estudiaba antes de los exámenes.
Apply what you learned. El hablar por teléfono ayer por la tarde. This answer is preterite because of the buzzword ayer por la tarde. The action happened yesterday and is completed. El hombre está feliz por un rato. This answer is imperfect because por un rato means for a while, which is a buzzword of the imperfect tense. El diciembre pasado viajar a Bogotá y aprender mucho sobre el país. Conjugate the highlighted verbs in the correct tense. The first verb, viajar, is in the preterite because it is completed action, so the conjugation will be viaje. The second verb is also conjugated in the preterite tense, so it would be aprende for first person singular.
The second one, cada domingo ir al parque. Every Sunday we went to the park. So it would be in the imperfect. Cada domingo ir